ho, ho! Happy holidays and a Merry Christmas! It's the Plat Chat, episode 66, presented by T-Mobile. Episode Plat Chat Overwatch, presented by T-Mobile. Episode
Christmas special.
66, Christmas special. Even though...
Is that Santa Claus?
Wait a second. Yeah, this would be this is the precursor episode of Christmas. Yeah, because we're not doing one like another one before Christmas. Welcome everybody to this very special Christmas-themed episode. Now you might be asking, what makes it Christmas-themed? Well, we've got a variety of little treats set up for you, including anything Christmas-related.
Nothing.
We didn't put any thought into this. I've got a hat. You can see because
it looks glorious.
I'm planning my own personal Christmas stream actually. And that'll be on Christmas Day. So you guys can check that. That's my own personal plug, okay?
Just another opportunity, you know, they're using our platform as a group to promote your own personal garbage.
But
come on, give him a hand.
Big news on the horizon.
To Bren YouTube.
Because if you guys remember the Timmy tournament that we did?
Yeah.
The big Timmy tournament, right?
Yeah, I
remember
that.
Timmy tournament.
I have no memory of that.
It was a fun time all around. I was running around changing the rules. I was doing the admin. Kurt's computer was blowing up. We were on fire with it. The entire production was just it was beautiful. We had reviews in the Times, the magazine, the Time magazine. They reviewed it alongside the musical Cats, and they said that we were better. So we got that going for us. That was pretty good.
That movie was just.
But it turns out we're doing another one.
Hell yeah!
Whoa. We're doing another one. We're going again. We're doing another one.
We need the thumbnail faces. Everybody vote.
We're doing another one.
I appreciate some of you participating.
Matt looks like he's just seen one take. Matt, your face looks like you just watched someone take a shit on your desk. Your face is just sort of like you were astounded, but also disgusted.
Told me we were doing another one.
We're doing another one, yeah. And do you know when it's taking place? The exact date?
When?
Boxing Day, which is only a thing, I think, in the Commonwealth countries. But for all of you who aren't living in the Commonwealth countries, the 26th of December is when it's going to be taking place. The start time is roughly going to be, of the tournament that is, around 1 p.m. Pacific time. We're actually planning on running a full combine a couple of hours before on the same day, starting at roughly 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's all very rough in the air. You know, we're a bit rough around the edges.
I'm not doing that.
We're doing a combine, but don't worry, man. You're not going to have to participate in it. What's going to happen is our loyal viewers at home and anyone else who wants to participate in this is going to be able to enter into this tournament by filling in the Google form that we're putting in the description below us right now. You can you can look at the form, you can type in your information, all your information, and don't lie because you'll be on my naughty list. You know what I mean? You're not allowed to lie about your SRs.
No.
Fill in your information. And we're going again on the 26th. But it's not just us. It's not just us this time. This time, it's an 8-team single elimination tournament bracket. That's right, baby. Whoa. We're going into the tournament arc of Plat Chat's anime career.
Who
8
else
teams,
is in it?
1 champion.
And who else is in it?
Oh, it's us 4.
Are we going to split ourselves?
It's us 4. It's Zoe.
Whoa!
It's Avast.
I want to be on Zoe's team.
And I've forgotten the last 2.
You forgot both of the Australians. You forgot
it's Custer and Mitch. It's Custer and Mitch Ubershouts Leslie. There you go. So those are our last 2. To be fair,
bringing
Josh,
endorsement for their teams, you forgot who they were.
Well, it was Josh who asked them, not me. Listen. Anyway, that's what we got planned. And how it's going to work is you fill in your information in a Google form, you get put into our giant database. And on the 26th of... Yes, the algorithm. On the 26th of December, we then put you through the combine, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Only some of us are going to be there, where we are going to assess your skills in a variety of game modes known as Lucio Ball, Lucio Race, Torbjorn Golf, Daddy Reinhardt and his little Torblets. Many, many mini games are going to be played where we're going to be assessing your physical and mental abilities. We're going to compile and limit it down to 40 members of the public, you who are entering our tournament.
Wow.
And we are then going to perform a snake draft with all the team captains picking from the list of 40 competitors until we have 8 full teams.
And
but it doesn't
champion.
stop there.
What?
Don't ever interrupt me again. It doesn't stop there, Josh. It doesn't even begin to stop. Because we've got a new twist on the Plat Chat Timmy tournament taking part on Boxing Day. It's the mercenary rule.
What?
When a team is defeated, their captain is brought on to the winning team as a mercenary.
Oh my goodness.
And they must fight. Part of the winning team. They are morphed into the roster. And they, the captain that loses, must kick off a precious Timmy.
So if I beat Matt, Matt has to play for my team.
Yes.
And then I get to pick what I get to pick what role
Matt gets to pick who he replaces.
Team.
And this is going to be taking place all day. So in the end, the way this will work is the two sides of the bracket. We will have a team of 4 talent 2 Timmys, 4 talent 2 Timmys battling, clashing in the grand finals.
Why are they clapping? Why
They're clashing. This is my clashing motion.
It's like, I don't want to clap.
This is my clashing motion. I've spat all over the mic.
Wow, I love this. I've actually heard that this is the exact system the Los Angeles Valiant use to construct their OWL rosters each year.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And you know what made it even all possible, Josh? The algorithms, the combine, the tournament. Do you know what made it all possible?
Gunba?
No, not Gumba.
Oh, right. No, sorry.
T-Mobile.
Oh,
come on.
Yeah.
And that's right with T-Mobile. It's got 5G coverage in all 50 states, and T-Mobile has America's largest 5G network. And even better, no other 5G signal goes farther to bring you closer to the Overwatch League and keep you connected to the game. So rank up and take your wireless game to the next level with T-Mobile. And visit T-Mobile.com today. And also sign up for the Timmy Tuesday tournament. It's in the description.
That was the most energy you've ever given to anything I've seen you do.
You haven't seen me in bed.
He sleeps ferociously. He sleeps ferociously.
That's an accurate comment. I've never seen you in a
very restless sleeper, man.
Brent's naps are incredible.
Very restless sleeper.
Things to be seen.
Notoriously aggressive napper.
You should do a bed stream at some point, Brent.
I tell you what, that joke was worth it just to see Matt's face. That's got that. You wanted a thumbnail reaction out of him, Kurt. That you've got it now. His eyes came out of its sockets. I'm telling you now, the eyes came out of the sockets.
You know, someday you're like a runaway train.
All right, let's get the episode started, shall we? If that wasn't enough.
That was definitely a start, I would say. Yeah. Is there anybody out there that's confused at what's happening? There's a tournament.
They know the details, Matt. I've already gone over it.
There's another announcement next week as well, though. We have a special episode next week as well for all the people that are out there screaming, talk about tier 2 on Plat Chat, please talk about tier 2. Well, we are too dumb, and by that I mean we haven't done our research yet to properly talk about tier 2. Yet. We certainly
power rankings, very research heavy and informative.
Yes, and so we still need to do that. But with the gauntlet just concluding, we figured we absolutely should begin that process. And the process begins by collecting information from the wealth of knowledge that exists from your excellent talent that already exists in the tier 2 scene. So we're going to put out some feelers, try and get guests for next week, where we're going to do a gauntlet recap episode talking about some of the big rookie talent coming into next year and the people that popped off in the gauntlet as well. So you can catch that happening next week.
So if you're watching and you're a tier 2 talent, please don't unionize against us and demand huge amounts of payments to be on our show, because we've actually not reached out to anyone yet. But we will have an episode and we will feature some kind of talent.
You heard it here first.
We can never agree on how to pay other people to be on the show, so I mean, it would be very
supports
difficult.
Capitalism.
Capitalism? Okay.
Firm mover and shaker in the capitalist world. What am I talking about? SoOn.
Soon.
He's joined the Boston Uprising.
He has.
Yep.
This move blew me away.
This was weird.
I thought it was like one of those accounts that like just does like those like memes, like they troll you into like retweeting it. But it's legit.
Yeah.
I mean, this is insane. I mean, one has to imagine that like maybe SoOn couldn't find a lot of teams to play for in the league. I feel like SoOn is universally pretty underrated within the league, if I have to say so, because he consistently shows up on Hitscan. I mean, we've had this conversation on the podcast before that like he's had his ups and downs in the Overwatch League, but he's consistently been like a great damage player since 2016 and still is. And so I think this is a fantastic pickup, like for Boston Uprising, that they managed to secure this guy. I think that's really good for Boston. I don't see any problems with this whatsoever.
I mean, they're starting to put together like a pretty fun team, right? I know they add Stand 1. You have Myungbong already, right? The Fusions is like a fan favorite. Like, this is becoming a very likable team where I think if you're a Boston fan, you just wanted to see them be remotely competitive. Like, I don't expect this team to be what you saw last year. Like, I expect them to I know maybe they're not gonna win a ton and light the world on fire, but I don't think they're just gonna like roll over and die like they did last year.
And that's what we said in our previous episode. Actually, we were asking the fans, any Boston Uprising fans that still exist, to tell us what they were hoping for from next year. Like, what were they actually hoping for their franchise to achieve in 2021? And when I scrolled through the comments, most people, I would say, as a general rule, were saying they just wanted to be competitive.
Yeah.
Right. And that doesn't necessarily mean they don't want to be a joke. They don't want to be the team that gets memed on for being bad and not having any fans because they're bad and, you know, that kind of shit. So I wasn't convinced with the acquisition of Stand 1, but obviously it was the right direction. That's what we said in the previous episode too. And I think that this move from SoOn completely caught me out of left field. But if these are the kind of moves they're going to make, they've got a chance. They've got a decent chance of being competitive.
Yeah.
I find this quite interesting that presumably SoOn got an offer from Paris. You would have to assume, right?
No, I don't.
Why? I wouldn't assume that at all. Yeah.
Both Ben Best and MEKO, I think, have said that they didn't receive offers.
Yeah.
So
that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
I don't think he
I have to work forward to the assumption that Paris Eternal did actually reach out for some of the endemic French players that were already in the league, just to give them offers.
I don't think so. They already had
Here's the thing. What if the management did like a 900 IQ move and they were like, hey, what if we get some of these like pretty skilled endemic French players, like SoOn, for example. Let's say we don't want SoOn to be like the primary hit scan player on our team, but we want him to be on the team because he represents France and he can like fill in sometimes in some metas and, you know, play on the team, show up once in a while and like sell some jerseys. What if the 900 IQ move is to not sign people like SoOn? Because the fans will always side with the endemic players and people like SoOn and be like, hey, our team is struggling. Why is SoOn not playing? You know, SoOn as, you know, he's consistently like a big performer in our team. And like, he's one French player representing Paris, you know, like bring him, like we love SoOn. Without SoOn, they have more freedom to mess around with other players that don't have a strong connection to Paris Eternal and France as a nation. And I think that could be what maybe the Paris Eternal needs right now. Trying stuff out, different kinds of players, without with the fans being a bit agnostic to the players' personalities and brands.
Bit of a gigabrain move, though, isn't it?
That is a wild move, yeah.
You have the potential to really shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna have like a fan favorite player and then be like, watch this 500 IQ thing, we're gonna drop him so we don't get blamed. I mean, come on now. What kind of thinking's that?
I could be a GM.
If we're assuming though that
there's your GM tactics from Reinforce. Sign all the popular players and then just kick them one by one. Yeah, you'll.
If we assume
they did it for some reason.
Yeah, if we assume that they're working with less of a budget this year, Paris, right?
Yeah.
We're going off of that assumption, but also assuming that they would have at least gave an offer to some of the French players because it makes sense for those players to be on that team.
But okay. I have it on pretty good authority that they didn't get offers. They simply didn't. They didn't get offers from Paris. Like, no matter what the monetary value was, they just didn't receive offers from Paris in this offseason. I don't know why, but because we've gone down this route, I feel like I have to reel you back. That I don't know 100%, but I have a pretty decent idea that they didn't receive an offer in this offseason.
You sure?
I don't think they did.
Sure.
I mean,
a very decent idea that they didn't. Like
they publicly come out.
I trust.
Yeah, I mean, some of them have publicly come out and said they didn't.
Okay, I was just okay, but I'd like to work off the premise that they did.
But that doesn't make any sense.
That means we know it's wrong.
Yeah, we know it's false already.
Okay.
You're like, oh well, I'd like to operate in this false thing.
I like to operate under conditions COVID doesn't exist. Here we go.
But yeah, I mean, it's a more interesting question if I say like out of Boston and Paris that soon chose to go with Boston. But it's not an interesting question.
That's not even a true.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's
assume then. Like, okay. Let's forget Paris then, but just assume that he had options outside of Boston. It's interesting, isn't it, that Soon decided to go with Boston?
Because it's probably the only option he had.
I think it's more likely that Matt's right, and it was the only option.
It's the only option?
Yeah.
You're really going to do Soon like that?
No, I'm not saying I'm doing Soon like that. I'm saying I think that
really
the league has done
it.
him. No. I actually would like to hear this from Soon, though. Like, obviously, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty around him and Stand One, for example. I'd like to know, like, did he choose to go to Boston? Did he have other offers for other teams?
Yeah.
Or was it a case of going to Boston and making the best of next year? Because even if he didn't choose to go to Boston, I think this team could still do something. Like the more pieces Boston can pick up as, you know, because they have the purchasing power, because they're the only people giving people offers, there's still good free agents available that haven't received offers anywhere else.
Yeah, and if you're Boston, it's like, yo, Soon, why don't you come play with us? Rebuild, prove again that you're an Overwatch League quality player. And if you kind of overplay, your rate, you can go somewhere else, probably in the league the next year, right? It's not a bad deal for Soon either here.
I mean, it's going to be hard. Like, if Boston underperforms now, I think it's going to be hard for Soon to find a spot, because we talked so many times about the importance of being on a good team to really showcase yourself as a player. If you're on a bad team as a player, especially Soon here, I think you're really going to struggle to like find a team next year. But that's why this is such an amazing story, because now if Soon comes out and it's like, yeah, Boston Uprising was the only team who gave me an offer, what an incredible story that would be. Like, there would be so much punching power from a storyline perspective for Soon here if he manages to rally Boston Uprising to like a good position in the league, and he was like, screw all these teams, they didn't offer me anything, I joined the Boston Uprising, and now we're like a mid-table kind of team like Valiant, or I don't want to say Gladiators, but like Valiant, you're in the mid-table kind of team, like Atlanta Reign maybe, like you're actually winning on the Boston Uprising, right? I'm just lowering it until I see Sideshow making a face that I like. So
I mean, I think you could be competitive and be mid-table, but yeah, carry on.
I think that's a great story. Yeah, and also I wanted to say as well, this is crucially important for Boston Uprising fans, because they finally have someone to cheer for. Like, this is a player you can get behind and root for, and you're like, hey, Soon, be our saving grace, be the guy who pops off, gets all of the frags. Because previously, Fusions was the extent of that. Like, Fusions have like a bit of a personality. He gets some big shatters on Ryan, win some team fights or whatever. But let's be real. Fusions was never like the go-to star player on this team. He was he's a good Reinhardt for all that I know. And like, he's solid across all main tank heroes for the most part. But Soon is someone Boston Uprising can get behind. And when they think, I like the Boston Uprising, I support the Boston Uprising, why do you support the Boston Uprising? Well, Soon is on that team. he's my go-to star player.
Yeah.
He's someone I can get behind. I think that's really important for a fan base to have someone like that.
Well, he's a different type of like I think when you kind of compare Fusions and SoOn, like I think it's just a different level of like star player. Like I think SoOn is a star player that kind of like it doesn't really matter the team, right? Like people will follow him here or there. Like, you know, Fusions can be the player of a team, maybe not like one of the future players or like star players of the entire league. Where like SoOn has been proven to be like a fan favorite of even if you weren't a Valiant fan, you were a fan of SoOn, right? If you weren't a fan of Paris, you were still a fan of SoOn. Like I think we have very limited players like that in the league. So to be able to have one on your roster, it's pretty significant here for Boston because they really have never had that.
Yeah. It's also, I don't feel like you can overstate how important it is that SoOn is the third DPS for this team. Remember how many times last year the Boston Uprising struggled with a lack of flexibility on their roster because they were just stuck running Color Hex and Jerry together in every single meta. Now they have main tanks that they can change out. They have a rotation of DPS that they can rely on to be a bit more useful. And they might not be finished adding pieces to this roster yet either. I mean, hopefully they're not finished because they don't actually have a full team. They don't have a main support unless Fusions is going over to that or something. But yeah, this roster, it's still not I still don't think it's enough to be at the level where the Boston Uprising fans are going to be happy with it. But I think it's a couple pieces away from where most fans would be pretty happy because it's going to be not a joke of a team.
Yeah, it's a good start as well. Like, there's a lot of teams that I think just have a stigma in terms of players wanting to go to them because they're just associated with being bad. And I think players like SoOn join it. Like it's very clear that Boston is making discernible efforts to move away from that image. And if they have a good, like I say, a good season in terms of what our expectations are for them, which is for them to punch into that middle of the pack. I mean, that's my expectations for this team, right? That's what I would consider to be good. But as soon as you start that, then it becomes a little bit more attractive for good talent to want to play for your team.
Yeah. You know, you get some right. You get some kind of like positive sentiment amongst the league. Like you know, they start to play better. People enjoy playing there in general. Playing with some of the players on that team, it's a lot easier to get other players to join in the future.
Yeah, I want to be quite clear as well. When I say this Boston Uprising roster is going to, like, they're a couple of moves away from being good for their fans, I mean not bottom three as well. Like, I would consider that a success. Just from like what we discussed last week and the responses from fans and stuff, it seems like that would be enough to satisfy most fans, genuinely, is like, we are not a bottom three team. We might be the complete bottom of the middle of the pack. Like, we're underneath the Valiant, we're underneath Atlanta, we're underneath Houston, all of those teams. But as long as you're above a few and you're at least maintaining it. Yeah, as long as we're keeping it competitive with some of the middle of the pack teams, that seems like it's a good starting place for Boston to be in next year. And I think this roster can do that.
Yeah.
New York as a city, lovely place. Very, very kind of grimy. It's down to earth, you know. You
so
walk the streets of New York, you know where you are. Generally speaking, you're in the Big Apple. That's what they call it. But they've also announced their support line. Jjonak and Friday. Friday unknown. He's an unknown quantity. We don't really know much about him. Could have come from anywhere. We really don't know. But this is their support line.
We do know where he came from.
We can't. We're still working it out.
We do know where he's come from.
We're still trying to get to the bottom of where he's come from. And at some point we'll tell you. We'll announce it on the next episode or something. But this is their support line. Yeah, I feel like this is taking this is the approach that New York wanted to go for, right? Because what we said previously about this team is that they've had so many seasons of barely scrape. Johnny, you're huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
You're going to blow my house down. What's wrong?
Yeah, what are you huffing and puffing about?
No, you just said, like, this is the direction New York wanted to go in. And I just wept internally for like 2 seconds.
The point, what I was going to go into was that New York have always been kind of just scraping into that top section. Always. But they've never quite reached the pinnacle that they wanted to. Like, this team has always wanted to be punching for that top number one spot, but they've always been just scraping slightly outside of reach. And at what point, we said it previously, do you just blow up the roster? Well, they've decided to kind of do that. They are essentially blowing up the roster, and they're building around some of the core veteran presences, namely Jjonak. And this is the start of it. I mean, this is one direction to go into, but it is a gamble, isn't it?
I like the decision though. I mean, I've kind of defended it on like a bunch of episodes in the past. Like I would still defend it, and knowing the people over at NYXL Andbox, like they definitely have a clear cut plan here, and I really like it from the standpoint of that let's say you saw that roster out another year. You're just allowing other teams to get some of this up and coming talent to where then the year after you're so far behind, right? Because some of this great contenders talent has entered the league already, where you're really behind in terms of what you can get. So I think you needed to make a decision on this team this year. Like now was the time if you felt like you needed to kind of move on. And I think you pick up some of these players. Are they the forever players of this team? We don't know yet. But can they build into something potentially? I think there's a chance. Yeah.
That's the important thing, right? Is whether these players are the right players to pick up. I don't really think that anyone is disagreeing with the idea of blowing the team up at this point. Like, I think that that's pretty reasonable. It's about who you actually decide to field instead of them. And when you look at people like Friday, and when I say like Friday, I specifically mean the people from his contenders team, OZ Gaming, I suppose the Americans would say. They finished like dead last in contenders. Friday, I don't think Friday's won a map since July 2019 or something. There was some weird stat like that, but but the thing is, 3 out of 6 of their players got signed to the Overwatch League in this offseason. That is enormous. That is like higher than almost every other contenders team, which indicates to me that their players must have popped off in trials. Like there's no other reason for it. Yeah, you simply do not get signed on a bottom level contenders team unless you went through open trials. So at the end of the day, I don't even think it's worth, or you're not going to get that much value going and looking at how Friday played on OZ, or how Skewed played on OZ, or how Checkmate played on OZ. You might get some value out of it. You'll have some idea. But at the end of the day, whether or not you believe they're going to be good on their teams in the Overwatch League comes down to how much faith you have in the trials process and in their coaches at selecting good talent. Because if those coaches are good at recognizing talent that comes through open trials, they'll probably be good in the league. If they're bad, they'll probably be bad in the league. And I don't know how to feel about Friday and Jjonak as a backline because of that. Because even if Friday is an incredible player, you're probably not going to be able to see it by watching the VODs in contenders, though I will admit I haven't watched them. And all of the talent that he has coming in, he's showcased in like private scrim trials. Yeah. So it's pure faith at this point as to whether you believe Friday is going to be a good pickup.
That
for
he can
NYXL.
recreate his scrim results consistently at the Overwatch League level.
Yeah. Do you have faith in NYXL's system? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question because they haven't done it before, frankly. NYXL have never been a team that have picked up new talent and done really well with it. They've signed big names from contenders, and they signed a whole team basically the first time they came into the Overwatch League. Am I forgetting anybody? Did they sign some? Like, obviously, there's Jjonak, who was like the very first player to be signed, but I don't even know who was responsible for that. It probably isn't the same people.
I mean, what you had like Animo come in during season 1, right?
Yeah, that's a good shout actually.
A little bit later, you had Nene, but
Nene was already a big name.
He was already like, yeah.
Yeah, but again, Hopper was like, these are all big names. They didn't really scout them from the depths.
They didn't scout like Hopper. Sure. Yeah.
There's no Hopper was going through open trials, right?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah, like apart from but then even Animo, wasn't Animo playing for, I think Animo changed his name and he was playing for the top Pacific team before he joined NYXL. I could be totally misremembering this, but I think, or maybe that was Slime. I always get the two mixed up.
Animo played for Ardiont in 2017 to 2018.
Yeah, he played for the top Pacific team. So even Animo was definitely not like some random unknown.
Yeah,
he was a sicko talent.
Their head coach has worked for NYXL since 2018. And their general manager Nugget used to work for SoOn in 2018, but for the most part, this staff has entirely worked on NYXL since season 1.
So who's running these trials, and do you trust them, is going to influence whether or not you believe they're constructing a good roster.
And I think it's like Nugget, right? He's running the trials.
I simply don't think there's any data to go on. Like, I have no idea about whether or not I should trust NYXL's trials process. I have no idea.
I think you kind of have to judge it. Well, I guess like kind of slightly off of just kind of like gut instincts that if they're doing trials and with the team they had, they have to have an idea that these players are at least on equal footing to what they had. Because I mean, that's what the fans will expect, right? Like to be at least as good as we were before, maybe a little bit worse. You'd be like, okay, like I get it. Like we change up a lot. Like I don't think you can sell it like as a realistic, like kind of a change of pace and change of direction if you go so far down the other direction.
No, I agree.
So, I just hope that this does not turn out to be like the Toronto Defiant in 2019. That is what I hope the most. And obviously you can make some direct parallels because Yakpung was the main tank of that team. But then if you actually take a look at the other players on Toronto Defiant at that time, for damage players, we don't know the damage players yet for New York Excelsior, but they had Ivy, Logix, Mangachu, 37. 37, I think they signed mid-season, like at the early months.
Yeah.
Their support line was MEKO. I mean, you know, pretty firepower flex support, similar to Jjonak, I suppose. Maybe a few flaws here and there. Main support, Aid, and
bro,
Roki.
you need to put down whatever you're drinking. You just said MEKO and Jjonak. Like,
that's a bit of a
like
stretch.
trying to compare them.
I'm trying to compare them. Okay, I'm not saying that they're on the same plane of existence or whatsoever, but they
that
like
would be
MEKO.
compared.
When I think of MEKO, when he used to play on Boston Uprising in 2018, he had some firepower to him. Striker was the best player on season 1 of Boston Uprising, right? But MEKO was still like a presence as a flex support. Like he had some Senjata. He was not like spectacular, not in the 5. I don't think he was in the top 5 flex support discussion. But
I actually think
I
think he was actually towards the end of the season. He was in the top 5.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Obviously, 2019 Toronto Defiant, not a highlight, I would say, of any of those players' careers. But still, I think that with Jjonak as well, being a bit on the decline. I mean, we've had this conversation a few times that 2018, it suited his playstyle and the meta as well, because he could play this Zenyatta for a long time. Obviously, we know his Ana is great as well. But the Baptiste, it's been kind of meh. You know, Jjonak, Moira, it's not like the best Moira in the world either. I'm not saying they're bad by any means, but you know, it's good. And I think, oh my god, am I making that comparison? I'm just saying that I don't want New York Excelsior to become this team where you have like Jjonak in the backline as like a flex support who can deal damage, but then you have Friday kind of like on a whim as the main support, just flying around and trying to make something happen, and the team is disorganized. I'm just seeing some parallels. I'm not saying that they're there yet, but I don't want New York Excelsior to take their brand and their reputation and just shove it down the drain. Like I wish there was some competitiveness still to this team.
A risk. No, it's a risk.
Do we not think this team can be competitive?
They
like,
could.
we haven't even seen them play.
Hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. There's so many good teams these days. And then you say, oh, Yakpung, Bianca, Friday.
And it doesn't scream confidence, does it?
I mean, Yakpung, maybe he's grown a bit. Like, he was a very young player, was on O2 Blast. O2 Blast had, like, great success in contenders, right? I need to double check.
He does look better.
He does look better, yeah. But it doesn't just, like, wow, they're going to revolutionize APAC region in... I mean, I don't know if they're playing in APAC region. I'm assuming they're playing in APAC region. Like, they're going to revolutionize that region with their current roster in my eyes. What do New York fans think? I want to know. Similar to Boston last week, I want to know New York fans. Like, are you optimistic on your roster? What are your expectations? Are you happy?
I would feel more optimistic about this roster than I did the other one. The other one, you knew exactly what the hell was going to happen. At least this one, like, oh, maybe they're good. Maybe they're good, and we have a really young core. Like, if they're not, like, well, at least we're not like some of the other teams who have never had a good year.
I think the New York fans would have liked to have stayed at the level they're at, you know?
But that's that's also not reasonable expectation whenever you rebuild. Like you can't always rebuild and only get better.
Sure.
Like that, you occasionally have an off year when you rebuild and then you get back to a higher level in 2022. Like if I was an NYXL fan, that is my idea of a reasonable expectation. Is that you have this year is a rebuilding year where you aim to be competitive, not to win, but you aim to just be competitive in the same way that, you know, like in the APAC region, you're just aiming for middle of the pack somewhere.
Yeah.
Like towards the bottom of middle of the pack. You're just trying to stay ahead of Chengdu and Guangzhou, I think, basically. Whether you can do that, I don't actually know. NYXL on paper, to me, might actually be the weakest of the APAC rosters, but you're aiming to stay competitive and try and get somewhere towards the middle of the pack. And then 2022 is when you actually have expectations on the organization, I think.
If half of these players like worked out, right, and then you just go back and pick up like some of the top contenders players from the next season, you're right back near the top.
Yeah,
with a complete rebuild, right?
I think that's the play.
You just hope you stay competitive, and most of this team is workable and has potential, and then you add an extra piece or two, because like to go into the contenders pool and just like gobble all the top ones up. It's just not, you wouldn't do it. It's just too expensive. It's just too risky as well, because who knows if they work out. You take a few players from this year, and let's say you need to go back into the pool and get, 2 big pieces. You go and sign the 2 biggest pieces that you can get from contenders, and now you have yourself like a really sick squad, right?
So
and you're a squad that's a little bit younger.
2019 Florida Mayhem, kind of, when they picked up Gargoyle, DPI. Who else was on that? Like they had some talent there with Beer Hands picking up some Korean contenders talent, right? And then they built on top of that, and now actually have a pretty good.
But I would argue you're starting off from a better spot with NYXL because you have a more stable organization, and you have a player who was the former MVP of the league, where Florida didn't have that to start off of. They had a lot of like just kind of like organizational chaos, tons of roster turnover. It's not till like recently they've kind of gotten stable and sorted things out. Like New York's pretty stable. I'm sure they will be able to figure out whether these players work or not rather quickly. It's just that what happens the year after, right? When they go back in and try and retool. I think that's what you're looking at for New York.
I'm still worried, like Josh said about the scouting. They need to prove themselves when it comes to scouting and building a team.
It's true. I mean, not many teams have proven themselves to be great scouts in the whole league. So,
but you can only tell whether that happens when the season actually begins. Like you will only know that, about some players. Like some players, you can tell because they've done well in contenders on good teams, and you can see that talent. For people like Friday, you can look at the VODs of the team just getting beaten repeatedly, but that isn't going to tell you anything about like the guy's peak potential because his team's losing. So at that point, you have to really trust the scouting, or at least wait and see.
You right there, Bren?
Yeah, I got lost in the sauce for a second.
This is where Bren goes, all right, yeah, let's move it on. Yep.
No, I was gonna listen.
Or are you gonna is this where you introduce the next topic and then walk off and go get food?
Slow down.
Whoa.
Slow down, Green Lantern.
I mean, it's nice. Me and Josh are nice enough to show up the show, sober and ready.
Let it all out.
Yeah, Kurt, you're out here working hard. Me and Josh as well. I know Johnny shows up. Look at him. He just he came out of like a Hawaiian restaurant. And Bren doesn't even know
this shirt.
And
dare you?
And Bren
this is my
even
tiger shirt.
He doesn't even know where the hell. I mean, at least. Yeah, I mean,
how dare you?
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
what do you have tigers on it?
That shirt's got tigers on
jungle. People think it's tattoos when they see it at the first glance, but no, it's a tiger shirt. There's some flowers on it. I love this shirt. This is like my go-to Sunday shirt, But it's Monday because who cares?
Moving on. I don't. Where was I transitioning?
I don't know. You're the host.
You interrupted me as I was. I'll tell you what I was reading an article.
Why? Don't anger me.
What do you mean? Don't anger you? What are you, fucking Zeus? Fuck off. Let's talk about this off-tank tier list.
Yeah.
McGravy made like an off-tank tier list. Dude, my voice is actually going from the start of this episode. Because we were talking, we weren't even talking that long beforehand, but I don't know what's happened. I'm gone. All right, what's this off-tank tier list that McGravy's put together?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What is this?
So McGravy put together an off-tank tier list, and apparently, so he did this during a break of Gauntlet, because apparently he was doing a companion stream of the Gauntlet, and then in the break he was like, I have nothing to do, and someone in chat was like, hey, can you do an off-tank tier list? And he was like, yeah, let's do an off-tank tier list. So this was the tier list that McGravy put together, and he got so much backlash from a bunch of Overwatch League stans who were like, yeah, my player isn't high enough, fuck off, McGravy, what do you know about off-tanks? And it's like, well, actually, McGravy was an Overwatch League main off-tank, so he knows quite a thing or two about off-tanks. Apparently, big whiplash on this tier list. He posted a bunch of tweets where he was like, kindly fuck off if, you're being a spaz about it. Yeah. But this is his off-tank tier list. Do we agree? Do we disagree? The biggest surprise is probably Punk at B+.
Yeah, I
mean, once he actually joined Boston actually started to look pretty good with Punk.
Yeah,
he was a noticeable difference maker for that team.
I am surprised how high Punk is.
So the text is in the middle.
Why are people so angry about stuff like this?
People always get angry, Matt. It's 2020. People just
he's got Choi and Void at the top. I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hanbin and Fury.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think Fury's a nutcase. Might even have him higher than that, but yeah, reasonable.
Space Gargoyle Krong.
Yeah.
I think this is...
I would put Space... I think maybe Space down a tier.
That's what I was going to say. It's a lot of respect on Space, actually, because...
Sorry to interrupt. My thought process for McGravy's justification would be that I think that it was probably a difficult year for Space, right? I mean, he's come out and said it was a difficult year for Space, and we all know what Space is capable of. So I think this is some respect in place based off of that.
Yeah, if some other players in the league kind of get a pass off of some of their play, I think Space, even with how good he's been in the past, deserves a little bit of slack for what happened last year. And he still was pretty good at...
Yeah, I was going to say his individual level was good. The Gladiators had a range of issues, of which, a lot of them definitely looked like the tank line, but not on like a personal individual level. It was more like the coordination and the
I don't think there was ever a point last year where you considered Space to be like bad.
No, but I would have considered for the majority of the season people like Poco to be higher than Space. Like, yes. I am surprised how low down on the list Poco is here.
Yeah,
actually.
Whoa.
And Marvel, but again, when the problem with us doing these lists, if I put myself in McGravy's shoes here, McGravy probably added a lot of context when he was placing people into tiers.
Yes.
Like, for example, the tier that says Soul tier, he probably said something about Marvel's. Sigma would actually be in the B+ tier, but his others are down towards D, so he ends up averaging out here. Or you know what I mean? There's like added context for each pick as to why they're in these tiers. So the molding fans afterwards don't pick up on any of that because they don't actually watch the segment. They just look at this.
I mean, also, like, the fans should respect an actual player's opinion on the players they're competing in the league against. Like, it's super rare we even get this type of insight, but like, McGravy has played against all of these players. I'm sure he has a good idea of what other players in the league think about some of these players. It's a really good insight because, you see a player like Punk and you're like, well, why is he so high? Like, maybe we all need to start paying a little bit more attention to Punk and how he plays. And maybe he's kind of highly rated against some players in the league. So I think instead of looking at it like my player's low, like what the hell, maybe look at it as, hey, this is a respected player's opinion on a lot of the other players in the league. Let me look deeper into why they think that.
Yeah. I can't. I'm also not going to pick apart the bottom section of his tier list because I feel like it gets messy. You know what I mean? It becomes a little bit less defined. I can distinctly think of some of the best off tanks in the league, but when I'm thinking about the worst, it's not a question I've ever thought about. You know what I mean?
Well, Overwatch is such a team-oriented game that a lot of times if you're asked on the spot who's the worst, your mind immediately goes to those bottom teams, and you're like, oh well, must be one of them, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's probably not the case if you went back and actually like reviewed their own individual play.
Yeah. So I think he did say on stream that he was either a C+ or a C. So, you know, he's not like super biased towards himself, I'd say. You know, he's put himself there among like some of the average of tanks in the league himself. And Adam,
including his Valiant replacement.
Yes, Adam, they're a C as well. I actually don't know how much Adam or he's watched, but yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting when I saw it.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people love these rankings. Oh my god, people were so heated about rankings. They were like, "Oh my god, a ranking! I gotta pick it apart."
Yeah. I wish more players did this. I think it's actually awesome. Just kind of
the heat that McGravy
not with the heat that McGravy got after it, but
I do like these kind of things because also it helps you put into perspective. Like when people say, if you wouldn't mind bringing the list up again, Kurt, when people say stuff like, people often say middle of the pack to mean mediocre, but the average level is so high in the Overwatch League that a middle of the pack player is still really, really good. I mean, who even is middle of the pack here? So, like, in terms of how he's ordered them, like someone like Hawk, is that about in the middle, something like that? So if you say, you know, someone like Adam, for example, is rated here in the bottom 7 players. I mean, in terms of starters, you'd have to recalculate the list because there's only 20 starters on off tank probably. But okay, if we say like bottom 7, people often say, like, people act as if bottom 5 is a real insult, like you have to be trash to be in the bottom 5 or something, but someone has to be there. Like some of the
not everybody can be. Yeah.
So I often run into this problem where people will ask me on stream, like, oh, where would you rate X? And you have to write out a full fucking list so that you don't miss anybody off. And then you have to say, like, oh, well, he's probably, you know, is X a top 5 off tank? Well, probably not. There are only 5 spots. Are they middle of the pack? I don't know. It depends. Are there more than 50% of the players better than them? If not, they are below average. People get messed up with the wording because it sounds so negative.
And also, of course, doesn't take into account for the potential as well. Because if Adam gets signed to the LA Valiant, I'm like, okay, well, he could be an above average off tank by the end of the season, you know, just knowing Valiant and those people and how they do their scouting, etc. So, like, you know, just because you're bottom 5 going into a season doesn't mean that you can't rise to the occasion and be like, you know, top 5 at the end of the season as well. So you can't really... You got to take it with a grain of salt. It's fun to do, but you really can't take it that seriously.
Yeah. And plus, what I sometimes get surprised by when I talk to players is I forget how little the players actually watch the game. When I talk to players around the scene, a lot of them don't really know how other teams play. They don't know how other players play because they don't have time to watch all of the games. They're playing, they're scrimming. That's their full-time job, is scrimming and playing matches. They don't have time to watch all the footage. So they don't actually, not all of the, some players really like to review specific other players' footage in order to learn or grab little bits of tech or whatever. So they might be mega knowledgeable about one player or one team that they constantly scrim against or something like that. But they also might be lacking a huge amount of knowledge even about people in their role across the rest of the league. Like there's a ton of examples of people being asked in interviews like who they think are the best players, and they come out with bonkers answers because they just don't watch the actual rest of the matches that are happening in the Overwatch.
Tell you what.
So you've also got to take those kind of responses with grain of salt.
Or they're not able to see. They're not able to see all the matches, but they see like 1 or 2 where somebody pops off, and that's their answer. You know?
Yeah.
Tell you what, boys.
Yeah.
One name missing from that list, isn't there? Someone here, very big fan. Where's MEKO?
I know. Oh, I thought you were going to say Janu.
Or Janu. I mean, both, honestly. Both acceptable. Yeah, where is MEKO and Janu? Johnny?
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
About MEKO?
All of it. Give me your thoughts on everything.
No, I have PTSD. I refuse to put MEKO on this list. I shall not. I have PTSD. No, No.
I mean, what? MEKO's still unsigned. Where does he make sense? Like, I think when we talked about it last week, like we just didn't have many spots where he made a ton of sense.
But in terms of the tier list, where would MEKO go?
Oh, mate. I mean, at that point, it's like,
yeah, I mean, what? He's
hard to,
yeah, I mean,
hard to judge, to be
checking
honest.
It out, huh?
I think his reputation has died down a little bit since 2018. I don't think I value him as highly as I did back then.
No, but he's still a good player.
Yeah, I would probably have him in the B or the C plus. To be honest.
I was gonna say B or C plus. Yeah.
I was more optimistic.
I mean, I would also change around a bunch of these rankings.
Yeah, I would change around a bunch of these.
But judging by the relative strength of the areas, like, yeah, I think last season MEKO was, he was around middle of the pack. I think he made some personal mistakes, and I think his level of play was kind of brought down. Like the ceiling of his play was brought down by the fact that his team wasn't performing as well. But I think he was around the same kind of, like, I think Poco's underrated on this list, and I think people like Rhea is perhaps slightly overrated, but I would have him around the same level as like a Rhea or a Bianca or Hawk, something like that, around the B level.
Yeah,
probably.
What about Janu?
Ooh,
Janu I rate higher. Janu I rate much higher. Yeah, I would have him in the A
and Rhea. Yeah,
I would have Janu definitely higher than MEKO.
That's the weird thing about off tanks, isn't it? That's the weird thing, is that I feel like a stint on a bad team can often drag you down more so than most roles.
Well, I think we were also talking about MEKO's play declining a little bit with NYXL in year 2.
Yeah, I was more pumped about Hotba coming into that team than MEKO. I thought Hotba would be a better and well-rounded player, but I think obviously MEKO had some kind of chemistry with that team, and that helps a little bit. Yeah.
I think MEKO was pretty decent, but off tank is also the position that's understood some of the least, I think, by people who don't observe a huge amount of it. And also, I think that it's you do actually get worse playing on worse teams. Yeah. I think that's not just you don't get to show your fullest. You actually actively get worse compared to the competition by playing on worse teams. You're not keeping up with the same progression, like, individually, as the top players are. The top players are continuing to get better, and because they're surrounded by better players, they're learning faster and they're getting better as well because they're playing against the top competition. They're learning how to operate their best in the top team environments. They're actively improving, whereas you're improving slower if you're on a worse team.
Yeah.
I think also topic. I mean, also just kind of playing the off tank position with just somebody who's not really traditionally or even like really that kind of excelling in the main tank role makes you just look really bad as well.
I can every time I get ready to throw to a new topic, I hear Kurt laugh a little bit. It's like
there's always like a weird silence, and then you pounce on it. And I get my hands ready to write down the timestamp for the description.
Well, nobody actually knows, because like I'm not sure if he just hasn't been listening and zoned out, or he actually wants to transition. So the rest of us just kind of sit here like, oh well, maybe we should keep talking to remind him what we were talking about.
He just wants to see if more people are going to talk or not.
Well, you know, I like to give a lot of space. I'm not like most hosts because I'm not professionally trained or good at my job.
Space. Bren specializes in that.
Yeah, I like to give people room to breathe and talk. You know, sometimes we talk about a topic. It's 30 minutes long. Should I have ended it sooner? Probably. Is it my job? Yes. Yeah. Do I do it? No. Anyway,
we love you, Bren. We love you, Bren.
This though. The next topic. It's quiz time. Do you remember that? Do you remember when we were saying that I wouldn't be able to get? I can't remember the number we quoted.
Well, here's a good place to begin. What are you doing?
What the hell's going on?
I think he's got his cable wrapped around. Yeah.
A cable got caught.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, you set it up. Set it up.
Okay, so you guys, I don't know how we're doing it. So we're doing 2 teams?
Yeah, 2 teams.
As a revenge. Okay, so to any of you who didn't watch, SI Not Found, Carrie did a Jeopardy special. Now, we didn't know the rules. But yeah, you should go watch it. It's on SI Not Found's channel. Go check that one out. I don't know what that. Maybe if you type in YouTube SI Not Found, it might
we can put a link in the description.
We could. No guarantees though. We might. I'm just not because we don't want to, but because we might forget. Is why I'm adding that that little contingency. But yeah, we ended it with a draw. Spoiler alert. There you go. Well, I guess there's no point in you watching the video now, is there? If you haven't watched it. But we ended in a draw with the 2 teams. Me and Johnny versus Josh and Matt. And look at that. The quadrants are already set up in place. I decided to film from a black hole. From the abyss, but we ended it with a draw with a coin flip, betting all of our points on something, and we didn't really get to find out who the true winner is. So we're gonna do another little test here to fill it up, starting with me and Johnny trying to name as many players from season 1 as humanly possible.
Let's start with the Florida Mayhem.
Okay. Wait there though, because we have been talking all year long about the fact that Bren would not be able to do this at all. So what percentage would you be happy with, both of you? If you could name like a certain percentage, what do you
40.
think you'll be able to do?
How many?
40?
That's so low. That's not passing grade in any examination board ever.
Johnny, is a passing grade in A levels, but you'd get an E, which is technically a passing grade.
I'm fine with that too. Yeah.
Johnny,
I'd be fine.
Will you allow me the first 10 minutes to try and get as many as possible, and you fill in the gaps?
Which one do I
if we do? Yeah. Okay.
Is that okay?
Wait, is this the right one? Were there only 125 people in season 1?
That would be fun.
Yeah, there were like teams, remember?
Is it this one or this one?
No, the other one. 125.
Wait, do we want to cut this down? We can't spend 20 minutes on a single quiz. Sure,
we can.
What do you mean?
Let's just go.
We're going.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. All right.
We spent 20 minutes on worse.
I can't see the screen.
Boston Uprising.
Boston Uprising. Striker.
What teams are in the league?
Striker.
Oh, you could just say any name and it will just automatically.
Gamsu. Note. GAMSU. Note. NOTE.
Can you sit in the frame?
Yeah, you sit in the frame.
I can't see the fucking screen.
Well, honestly, you don't need to see the screen.
You don't need to see. Why do you need to see?
NEKO. 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 That was that one?
Yeah, you could literally name any player from any.
Was Color Hex on his team yet?
Don't get too complicated. Just keep doing Boston.
Color Hex.
Was Color Hex on this team? Yeah, I don't know.
In season 1.
You are gonna fucking. I hope.
Was
John
Axiom on this team yet?
In season 1.
Yeah. How many have I got left?
How many you got left? You only got
121 players you got left.
Okay, Bren, a clue. Okay.
Yep.
The friendly ghost. What was his name?
Friendly ghost? Casper?
Yeah, the car.
What?
Casper?
Yeah, can you not remember a player whose name had Casper in it?
Dream Casper's on this list.
Of course he should be. He was in season 1.
Dream Kazper?
I think that's how you spell his name.
Oh my god, this is working. Previously.
The artist formerly known as.
Avast was on this team.
Winter. What falls from the
Snow.
Yeah.
Snow.
Bro, if you don't get one of them, you're just the dumbest person ever.
I can't remember. Oh fuck.
What is show with him? You do a show with him.
No,
what do you mean you do a show with him? He's already guessed Avast.
Oh, he's got an Avast.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was doing Avast.
Don't listen to Matt. He's doing Torghast right now.
What's your process in your head? Are you going
Johnny,
to like the roles?
Johnny, can I move on?
No, there was an off tank. I can't remember. He played Saria. Kalios, was it?
Kalios,
Yes.
yeah.
Kalios.
Kalios was on the team, yeah.
iOS.
Nice.
Okay, nice.
Who left?
Kellex was on this team. Kellex. Who else was on this team?
Bro, your guys.
Yeah, skip the other two. I don't know.
Okay.
It'll be obvious.
Dallas Fuel.
My lord.
Yeah, we need to
XQC.
You guys.
get some more names in.
XQC.
Yeah, XQC.
Fantastic guess.
Yeah, really good one.
Custer.
Harry Hook. Seagull.
Yeah.
Hook.
I just gave you Seagull for free.
Chips Hagen. Chips Hagen.
Yeah, good luck to
Chips.
Curve.
SHIPS. No,
CH.
CHIPS.
Chips.
HAJEN.
HAJEN.
Yep.
There you go.
So you're actually going to get 40%.
Coco.
Coco,
COCCO. Did Kai play on this team or did he coach it?
Did Kai play in the Overwatch League?
He coached it. Taimu.
TAIMOU.
Effect.
Oh yeah, Effect.
My lord, there's so many Dallas Fuel players left.
Bro?
There really are a ton of them. I mean, there's people who are still signed this year that you
Mickey
and IKM, Uncle and IKM and Mickey.
God, you were so happy to get Mickey there.
MICK. IE, yeah, AKM.
Was AKM on this team? Oh my god, he was.
Unco, UNKOE.
Bro, you really shocked that 8KM was on the Dallas Fuel?
And one more.
Jonathan played with these guys as well before, like AKM.
Yeah.
Okay, Johnny, go. Florida Mayhem, go.
Yeah. CWOOSH.
Oh.
He would say swoosh first.
I would. Twick TV IQ.
Bren, have you actually given up?
Zebosai.
There it is. Logix. X.
Yeah, X.
Instead of C. X instead of C. There it is. My goodness.
Manaton?
Sapis. Said APPIS.
Was Manaton on this team?
Yep, he was.
MANETTEN?
2 N's. 2 N's, 1 T. 1 T.
Oh, there you go.
What was the flex support called? He was also Finnish. He was on Giganti too.
Bro, come on.
Zebosai.
You don't know. Dude, Zebosai was the main support, man.
He was flex, I think.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
The Finnish flex support, he's blonde. I even remember him. He was on Giganti.
Bro, are you?
He was at the breakdown.
SAYA.
He was at the first tournament that Bren ever casted as a LAN event.
Yeah.
And he can't remember that, pal.
Sip.
Was he about to say Ziphan?
We can move on, Johnny. We can move on.
What?
Oh my god.
Zupe, I'm giving it to you.
The Korean
Zupe.
tank. What was the Korean tank called?
Korean tank. Awesome guy.
Awesome guy.
Awesome guy. Yes.
There
we
it
got
is.
awesome guy.
Matt gave you the final answer as well.
Yeah, I'm not
Zupe.
listening to that.
There it is. ZUPPEH.
Zupe. Okay.
That's
Houston Outlaws. Boink. Mendokusai.
I'm gonna hold out till he gets one of the answers.
Mendo. I don't know.
I'm going to be honest. I'm just thinking through it. I can't remember who the last Dallas player is.
Who does he have?
Oh, nice.
I can't remember who the last Dallas player is.
Who else?
OG.
Jake.
Boston ones. Oh.
It's OG,
Jake?
yeah.
Jake.
Oh, it's
Muma?
OG. Oh, wow, you're right.
I forgot OG was in the first season.
No, yeah. Wait, who else you written down here?
Who the hell was on the nepotism
Cool Matt.
squad?
Cool Matt, Dante. No, Dante was on Shock.
Doesn't matter though. You can type in his name; it'll pop up.
It will?
Yeah, it will.
With H? NTEH. Oh, well, it popped. Oh, yeah, that's true. For sure.
It popped up down there.
Oh, for Valiant. Yeah, there you go, too.
I see.
Oh, my God. Raucous.
Oh, yeah. Banny? BANI. Linkser.
That's right.
Link ZR.
Yep.
I am loving this.
This is
like
ridiculous.
a blast from the past.
Was Rappel on this team?
Rappel.
No, that was later. That was
Rappel
later.
was on the Titans.
SPRE.
Yeah. Is that everyone?
No, we're
No,
missing
you've still
Three
got
more?
3 left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clockwork. Put
No,
Clockwork in.
God Almighty!
Clockwork, there
Stop
is,
giving us
yeah.
hints. Let's move on to
You
London.
need them.
We spent half the time on 4 teams.
Yeah, fuck it. Okay, I'm gonna speed run this. Are you ready? Profit. Gesture.
And then he just stops.
Bedosin. BDOSIN. Fuck.
Fury.
What a speed run! What a speed run!
Rascal.
Speed run!
Rascal.
Amazing.
Oh, that was fuel.
Wow. Oh, so the previously players don't even count. They're just bonus points.
Oh, okay. I can't remember what the main support was called for London Spitfire. Oh, Lord.
You can't
Playing
remember?
for Dallas.
Dude, they won the season.
Closer,
Jonathan.
closer.
Oh, wow. But there was another one, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was another one.
Yes.
Yeah, there was another one. That was the guy. I was thinking
His
of.
name was 3 letters.
Oh, it's not XQC.
Oh, wow.
He had a 3-letter name.
I don't know. The
guys really
Gladiators.
don't
Let's
know
move on.
that.
Let's move on to the Gladiators. We'll get it later. Don't worry. Gladiators had fuck. They didn't have
The finish
space
you,
yet. Who
Big
the
Goose?
fuck do they have?
Big Goose.
I mean,
Big
you,
Goose,
you literally
Shaz.
haven't even done like one of the most famous
Shaz.
players for London.
Surefour.
SH. Okay. SHA said.
This is sad. This is
Um,
just so
How
sad.
is it sad? No.
Because me and Josh would have gotten 100%.
You guys
of
are
this
just
list correct.
sabotaging them right now.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
Who else was on the Gladiators?
Remix.
Oh my god, I remix.
I don't know how to spell
It was
that.
I think I had an I at the beginning.
Yeah, it was Remix.
I
Oh, I
mean,
just
I just
remembered
spelled that.
Nomi.
I'll look it up for you because that's fair
N-O-M-Y.
enough. I can't remember how he spelled his name.
Silk Thread.
Mm.
N-O-M-Y.
Johnny's looking this up.
N-O-M-Y. Before I forget.
N-O-M-Y?
Okay, that's shock.
Oh, Nami, yeah.
Yo, what the heck? Guys, do not Google iRemix Overwatch Liquipedia. It comes up with some weird shit.
Oh no, you're distracting again.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
my
actually
God.
distracting.
Who else played for the Gladiators? Wow, what a forgettable team.
3rd place MVP?
Oh,
Who?
iRemix had 2 I's towards the end. So it's IREMIIX.
Somebody still with the organization
Bishu.
is on the team.
Bishu.
Yep.
Bishu. B-I-S-C-H-U.
Asher.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
great shout.
Yeah, Ash was a good
Okay,
shot.
scroll down. Scroll down. We need more teams. You've only got 8 minutes left.
Oh my god. We just gotta type, dude.
Space.
J Hong.
Yeah, just start getting the players
Ryu?
you at least know.
Miro. M-I-R-O.
Miro. 5 King.
That's so sad. Cannot remember Nuss from the London Spitfire who started for them. But fucking remembers 5 King.
Remember Bird Ring.
Oh, yeah.
Remember 5
Oh, yeah,
King.
Bird Ring.
You guys make it out like you're some genius right here, but you're gonna play the next challenge and just like have half the answers already. So just shut up.
God.
What are we not? Mono, Jjonak,
Valiant.
MEKO. This is so dumb, we're so-
K-A-R-I-V.
Saebyolbe. S-A-E-B-Y-E-O-L-B-E.
Nice.
Libero.
Ark. A-R-K.
Animo.
A-M-O.
A-N-A-M-O. Flower with a 3.
Pine.
Oh. No, it's not
a 0 instead of an O.
Oh.
And a 3.
What?
What's his name?
Maybe, Flower.
Or maybe he was called Nanohana or something.
Nanohana?
I can't even remember what he was called.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's
okay. Let's Pine.
Libero. Oh, wait, we
got Libero. Okay, Fusion. EQO.
Wait, was Flower in first season? He wasn't, was he?
he wasn't. Yeah.
Well, I thought he was signed, but underage. Okay.
Carpe.
He wasn't.
Poco. Fraggy.
Snillo.
Fragi. Snillo.
Boombox. Oh my god, how am I forgetting his name? The Spanish main support that leaks all the shit.
He's on Paris.
Neptuno. I don't know what Bren is shouting.
Verbo. Verbo.
Wow. What a memory.
Who was the guy who just did content for Fusion in season 1?
Huh?
Did all the content?
He was a player, but he just did content.
Oh, I know who you mean.
Well, you could put Sado in, couldn't you?
Yes, Sado will be there. He went on to coach collegiate.
Yep.
You don't remember his name?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The American main support.
Harrisburg University.
Yep.
I can't remember that guy. I already know his resume. Like I
can't remember. I know the face, but I can't remember the name.
He played for FaZe as well.
Yeah, I said that.
Joseph.
Okay. Whatever.
Joe Meister.
Let's move on.
Joe Meister. That's his name.
Yeah.
Joe Meister.
The E and the I are the wrong way around.
E-I. Yeah. Joe M-E-I.
We've got 5 minutes left. All right, I'm gonna bust out some niche picks, okay? You ready?
Agilities.
Niche picks, Shanghai Dragons, Geguri. Yeah. Geguri. Roshan.
Can't forget Roshan.
MG42.
Bro, he's forgetting the legend.
Fearless.
Dia.
There it is. D-I-Y-A. D-I-Y-A.
D-I-Y-A. Diem? Diem not on that team yet? D-I-E-M? Is he not on this team?
He's on the 0-40 Dragons.
I can't fucking remember, man. We got 4 minutes left. I'm panicking.
X-U-S-H-U? I don't know.
Yeah, he was on that team.
X-U-S-U-H?
Yeah.
No, S-H-U.
Nice.
There
Nice.
Undead. Previously. Oh, well. Okay, let's shock. Super Sinatra.
Sleepy.
Bus Sleepy.
Nevix.
Yep.
Toby. Rijay Hong. R-Y-U. J Hong. J-E Hong. There it is.
God, who else was on Soul? Fitz? Was Fitz on his team at this point?
No, I think it's no.
Fitz.
He's like, it was Krong on this team.
How do I not remember anyone from Soul Dynasty?
Yeah,
oh my god, what a travesty.
Quite forgetful.
This is sad.
No, it's not sad. I can't wait for Matt
definitely
to do
get more
this.
people on Shanghai. I really believe that you can get more on Shanghai.
More on
It
Shanghai?
was a legendary roster. They went Norton 40 for your pleasure.
No, we got two. Stop distracting us. We got 2 minutes. Soul Dynasty. Who the hell was on that team?
Miro,
legendary Lunatic High.
Bro,
the legendary Lunatic High.
If they don't get one of them...
Shut up.
Did Eska quit by this point?
Eska was never in the Overwatch League.
That's what I'm asking. Did he quit?
He was never there.
Was Eska in Overwatch League?
Oh my god.
Oh man, alive,
Who's
Bro.
on this team?
I don't know.
Who the fuck
They're
was
so
on this
forgettable.
team?
They're forgettable.
No, Prophet was on London at the time.
Yeah.
Flera, he's the MVP.
Who's the
Flatter.
MVP?
Oh my God.
Flera.
Have we got more teams at the bottom?
Gido.
What about their off tank? Everybody
on.
loved him.
Hold on. Sorry. To be. Oh, there's none. Okay.
Everybody loved their off tank.
Munchkin.
Yeah, that was their off tank.
Yeah,
No.
that was him.
Was Bunny on this team at this point?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Bunny. Yeah, it's a good
Oh,
shot.
Bunny was on
Valiant.
Valiant.
Oh, that too. Oh my God, 91. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty pleased. We could just stop.
Bro,
But
you're missing like.
Come on, you've got to get over 100. You have to.
Yeah, you can get over 100.
We can't even type that fast.
You can. You can. It's
You
so
haven't been
easy.
at 13.
Come on.
There's so many easy
Shut up.
ones.
Shut up. I'm
Shut
trying to
up,
think.
Matt. You're the worst.
Who the fuck was on the Shanghai Dragons? We are missing so many people.
Yeah.
Gary wasn't on the team at this point, was he? No, Gary was on Chengdu.
He's on Chengdu.
Fuck.
Shadowburn.
That's a good one. That is a good one, actually. I would have forgotten about
Yeah.
Shadowburn, I think.
I'm gonna say that all the time.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh my God.
Dak.
Brain. Wow.
Who's Dak?
I don't know.
DHAK.
Did you just say who is Dak?
Yeah.
Altering from Shanghai.
That's a great one.
Stop completing them for us.
Shanghai.
Oh, that's right. You need two players, Matt.
You said
Then you're
DM
missing,
earlier. Damon is the one you mean. Damon.
Yeah, Damon.
Oh.
Addo.
Otto, you're missing Otto.
ATO. Addo.
You're missing Zunba.
Dio.
You're missing Zunba. You missed
Oh,
Zunba.
no.
All right, let's go and see who you missed.
Wakid.
Wakid? Who else is on? I can't even see. I gotta go up close.
Baby Bay.
I would not have gotten Finzi. I would not have remembered Finzi on the
Kuki was on Soul.
And Triobin.
Dayfly as well. I would not have gotten.
I forgot about Fate.
Yeah, I forgot about Dayfly, honestly.
You guys forgot Fissure?
I forgot,
yeah,
I forgot Giannis, honestly.
Yeah, Giannis.
Bro,
Yeah,
OG
Fisher was fun.
Big names too.
Arhan.
Yeah, you guys forgot mistakes. Like, you got Dreamcasper, and then you were like, oh, when he got kicked, who the hell replaced him? I forgot OG was on Dallas, though.
I think we did all right.
Can we just bring up the
I'm a bit disappointed. Okay, I'm happy with what we got, but we missed some big time players.
Bren thought Gary played for the Shanghai Dragons in season 1.
Oh, wait. You got 75%. That's not bad.
Average score, 61.
It's good.
That's not terrible.
I'll take
especially with two idiots shouting over us as we did it.
Yeah, we were. I'm gonna fuck you over now when it's your turn.
No, we didn't. We shout. We gave you more answers than we
gave you like half of those.
I'm gonna. No, you didn't.
No,
we legit gave
not.
you half of those.
We gave you at least
the next
5.
quiz?
All right, which one are you guys doing?
So we originally said Brennan Reinforced wanted us to do season 2, which I think is infinitely
hard.
It's way harder.
Did you link
Cowards.
Let's do it though. I think we can do it.
I will get mixed up between like what year that people came in. I can't remember if they came in 2019 or 2020.
Let's try season 2. Let's see how good we do.
We literally named 94 players. We named 75% of the league, and you don't think you'll have an advantage going into year 2?
Yeah, you absolutely
I think we can do
will
it,
have an
Josh. I think we
advantage.
can do it, Josh.
How is that? Sorry, can you bring up the page, Kurt? There's twice as many players in.
No,
in
the advantage
year 2.
is that you've got your memory refreshed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, thank goodness you brought up people like Zushu, who I'm sure will become really helpful in season 2.
Shushue.
What's the page?
Oh, yeah, it's Zushu.
What is the page?
It's in the Overwatch chat. Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's in the live chat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan linked it.
Yeah, I linked it in the live chat. It's the last of the quiz ones. I think you're going to have a massive advantage.
It had like 233 answers instead of 125.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we're doing this by percentage, right?
No, this is current players, isn't it? Oh no, Overwatch League Season 2 players.
Yeah, the title says Season 2 players.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Really, 200? Okay.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Daco, DACO.
La 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 la.
Dogman.
Oh my god! How do you not know these people? I swear you're missing so many big name
You're
players.
actually missing so many.
How do you not know this?
How are you? You're actually missing 198.
DAFRAN.
You guys remember Eddie?
Oh, it's only people who were on the teams at the end of the season.
Oh, what about Kodak? How do you spell his name though?
You remember Eddie?
You don't know how to spell Kodak?
Oh, he wasn't on the at the end of the season either.
You remember? You remember
FRD? FRD. Baby Bay.
What about David?
David.
ERSTR. STE. Yeah, ER. You got it right without me.
Matt's NBA draft knowledge.
MASA.
Yeah, MASS. Or how do you spell Masa?
I'm gonna keep distracting them. Go into the restroom.
AA.
Yeah.
M for mother, for molecule. No.
So hard to hear when so many people are talking.
Trolled. What is the beginning of the name? Hello? MASAA. Oh my god.
Okay, at the start, there was like 4 people talking.
Popo. POKPO.
Where did that go?
That went to Poco. PO.
Oh, right. PO. Fire. FIRE.
Yeah.
Oh, was he not on that team at that point?
No. Let's go to Boston. Striker. They used on there. Fusions.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Aim God.
God, season 2.
Right.
I can't remember season 2 at all.
RCK.
But it's not so easy now, is it? I mean, Matt's just tapped in. Look at him go.
Color Hex.
The machine. He's going.
Kellex.
Neko and Aim God were somewhere around the league.
Kellex.
Wow, never heard of that guy before.
Yeah.
What about Zipan?
Axiom. I don't know how do you spell Axiom? It's the
I think it's 2 X's.
2 X's.
Like a couple of K's as well. Throw like a K or 2 in there.
Funny Astro was on the Atlanta Reign as a backup for.
Yeah, Funny Astro. Who was the other DPS for Boston? It was Blase. BLASE.
SE, yeah.
Yep.
Did they didn't still have mistakes on the roster, did they? He left.
No,
season
he only played 1 season. Chengdu, we can go Jinmu, JINMU. They had Eamon, yep. AMENG.
ENG. Yeah, I'm gonna let you spell the names. Otherwise, I'm talking over you.
Elsa, ELSA. They had Gary. Funny enough, I think it was 2 I's, or is it 2 R's? Yeah, Gary. How do you spell Young Zhao Long?
I mean, YA.
Yeah. YA. That's not how you saw it, Kurt.
YANG X.
Yeah.
IAOLONG, I think.
Wow. Who was their tank player who couldn't enter the country because Eamon couldn't play? Jaquirin.
Yeah. JIQIREN.
I think the meme was that he was swimming across the ocean.
Yeah.
IREN. No U after the Q. There we go.
Kyos, Kyo.
Evil Toll.
Yep.
YVELTAL.
I'm just start naming players from Dallas so we can get some off. OGE.
Okay. I'm gonna try and fill in your gaps.
Note. You had AKM, Onko.
How were they ordered?
I believe they're ordered alphabetically. UNKOE.
Me and Bren literally named the entire roster like 5 minutes ago.
Yep.
Harry Hook. I don't know.
Fair.
You're really struggling,
yeah.
huh?
You also had Effect was not on the roster in season 2, or was he? No, I don't think he came back for season 2.
They still had
Zachary.
He was named after his favorite toy in the Toy Soldiers film, Gorgon. You remember Gorgon?
3 E's at the end. It's
yeah,
C-H,
3 E's at the end.
3 E's at the end.
He was my favorite player, Gorgon.
OG Note, AKM, Zachary, Unco.
Closer.
Who is the closer? Yeah.
SER. CLOSER. Okay, who else did they have?
They had RCK. Dude, season 2.
How many people did they still? Yeah. How many people did they still have on contract from the year before? They still had Mickey, I think, right?
Mickey played Brig at the end of the season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Taimu still under contract?
Fuck knows. Maybe.
Taimu?
TAIMOU.
Wow, you're
Apparently
just
now.
2018 players.
Yeah, but they kept them on contract.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Who was on Hangzhou? You can go Bebe, BEBE.
You just suddenly Hangzhou.
13 minutes left, huh?
You had
And you only
Gushui.
got 36.
Jesus Christ, we are going slowly.
There's so many fucking
So
players.
slowly.
Gushui.
Hey, you're on pace to get not that many.
You had Gushui, Godsby.
GUXUE.
It's also because we're doing all the fucking Chinese teams where we take 19 minutes trying to explain all that spell.
I mean, I have no idea.
Do Houston, mate. Do Houston.
Rio. Rhea. We still didn't get Godsby. Like Gods and then
Oh, well, that was Gods. But
yeah, that was Gods. There's Godsby as well.
Players.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Accidentally just sniped gods, huh?
Yeah, accidentally.
Yes.
Josh, you gonna help out here?
Yeah, okay.
Linkster, sit there.
Linkser.
That's a good one. Linkster. We wouldn't have gotten that one. Yeah.
I'm going through the Houston Outlaws players. Thank you very much. Boink
IDK.
again.
IDK as well.
Okay, we've got Boink. We've got
Jerry.
Fucking
Crystal.
yeah.
Crystal with a K. I think it's
Dante. DANTEH.
I would love a counter to how many Josh got and how many I got. Custa.
I'm letting you do most of the heavy lifting here. Muma.
Jake.
Cool Matt. Spree.
Yep.
Okay, so you might not have a 2-year memory, but you have a 5-minute memory.
Yeah. Was Bonnie on the team?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
When the hell did they sign the Korean players that they signed? Was that this year? Did they still have Arhan at this point? I don't think
they did keep Arhan on. I think as like a coach, right? Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Did they affect Fiction?
Sure.
I think it was
FCT, FCTN.
Oh no, he played for Valiant.
Of course he did. Numlocked.
I don't know who the Numlocked. No, he wasn't in that season.
Oh yeah, he was in season 1.
We can do Gesture. Prophet, Fury,
Badosin, Birdring.
Birdring.
Forget Birdring.
Who's that?
Who was the backup to Birdring who they put on Sombra a lot of the time? Guard. Yeah, Guard.
That was a fun player.
Yeah, Guard was cool.
Rascal was on the shock at this point, I think, but
yep.
CAL.
Super. Choyobin.
Again, no idea who these guys are.
Fate. Karayan. Karayan. Wait,
9 minutes.
That was totally wrong.
Gargoyle.
Yaki.
BQB. Yaki was not in season 2. Yaki's a rookie.
Yaki was a rookie. Dude, I'm losing it.
Saya player.
There was someone else along with. Who was their other
with a K
that they signed that they got? Oh, Byram as well.
Byram.
B-Y-R-E-M.
That's a good shout. Yeah, he only saw a few matches playtime.
They had another off tank that they signed at the same time as Karayan. Didn't they bring?
I mentioned him earlier in the show.
They had Gargoyle.
Yeah, but wasn't there somebody else? I'm sure there was someone else.
I mentioned him this show, literally.
What do you mean this show?
Yeah, this show on today's episode.
It's not the player, but I could put a hot bit in there.
Yeah, sure. He can go in there along
Happy.
with. Happy, Nero, Eileen,
Neptuno.
I'll give a clue. You're missing a main tank still. They had 3 main tanks.
Oh, Swan.
Wow. It was
Owen. Yeah, Swan.
Did they also have Awesome Guy? Did they actually have 4 main tanks?
Didn't Awesome Guy change his name?
Yeah, to SNT. But
SNT,
I think he became a coach, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. I swear they had another off tank, but I can't remember who
You
it was.
are. I mentioned him this show.
Fucking
I can't fucking remember.
Space.
What his name was?
Who are you missing?
KSF.
Neptuno.
Sure for.
Wait, was Neptune? Am I losing my mind?
Neptuno.
Right, he's on the Philadelphia Fusion still.
You have
pretty good.
Void.
You're 77.
Void. Big Goose.
Fissure.
Shaz.
Wasn't Fissure on the Soul Dynasty this year? Oh, it's people that were still there at the end.
Yeah. Shaz. Hydration.
Reaper. RIPA.
Yeah. Decay.
Good one. Oh my lord, yeah.
What was the he just played Roar.
This is unreal efficiency.
Yeah, you're doing pretty well actually.
Yeah.
Jjonak. Mono. Animo.
AMO again.
Sabiel B.
I'm just seeing Matt going through the mind palace.
Yeah.
Yes, that stare.
I don't know how you spell that.
Stare.
YEO. No, BYEOLBE.
Wacky slush.
MEKO.
This is
MEKO.
Yep, MEKO. Nene. I think it's 2 ends.
2 ends at the end.
2 ends in the middle.
Yeah.
This is where they had Flower. I think it's with a 3.
Yeah, it's with a 0 and a 3.
I can see Matt looking at Liquid
Libero.
He's looking at his second monitor.
No, I just closed.
I can see him. He's looking at his second monitor.
Didn't they have another support? Did they have someone as a backup to Animo still at this point?
No, I don't think so. Paris. No. SoOn. Ben Best. Nico.
Cruz. No, NICO. NIC 0? What? Wait, what?
You're missing the Team Fortress
it's like
2
the
story.
G, whatever the fuck.
NICO GDH. Fucking what a dumbass!
Wait, Jaws is helping them.
Carpe.
Jaws, you can't come in here and help them. No. Yes, they would. Listen, you got you can't. No, you can't. Sorry.
Boombox.
Yeah. Boombox. Wait, who else was on Paris? Was Finzi still on that team? FINNSI.
That was Paris.
Gray. Gray was on Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Was it two Y's?
Yeah,
two Y's.
REYY.
I'm 37.
That's actually a great shout. He was on.
Yeah, I'm 37. Was on Toronto. Yeah.
Yakpung.
Yeah, Yakpung.
Oh, Yakpung.
PUNG. Yeah.
LH Cloudy.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Hacksaw.
You're very calm, aren't you?
Bumper.
You're very calm.
Janu. JJANU.
Very calm for
one of the best
Slime.
teams of all time.
Yeah,
Twilight.
very calm for a team that's going to be getting a lower percentage than us.
I
mean,
Repel.
it's a low percentage because there's 200 people.
Time is running out.
If we speak loud enough, Bren, he won't be able to pronounce how they're spelled.
Yeah. Somin Su, can you give a spelling for that, Josh?
Oh my god.
Yeah, SEOMINSOO. There it is.
They had Hureg.
Oh, what a
shout. Little meal.
Hureg.
Yeah,
one of the most successful players of all time.
HOOREG.
Ooh.
And then who was the main tank that they brought in to play the final? What was his name? Tizzy. Tizzy.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
God, you are a beast, actually.
The NBA draft king.
He's pulling. Yeah. He's got it up on his second monitor. I can see him. His eyes are shifting.
Oh, Tizzy?
That's definitely his name. TIZI. Sure.
We can go Sinatra. Violet.
Maybe up against someone else.
With a 2.
Oh yeah, it's Stitch. It's Stitch that we're missing from the Vancouver Blades. For some reason, Tizzy isn't.
Wow.
Smurf. Architect.
3 minutes left. How many do you need to get? You need to get 32.
Moth. Who's the last player from the Shock, Josh?
Smurf, Architect, Nex, Choyobin. CHOI.
Oh my god.
HYOBIN.
Corey.
Wow.
They haven't even got started on some of these other teams. Don't worry about it.
That's true. They don't know the struggle of Soul Dynasty run.
Don't worry about it.
Soul Dynasty, do it in a second.
They don't know. They don't know.
Right,
you got 2 minutes.
Fit.
2 minutes to get 25 names. 2 minutes to get 25 names. The clock's ticking.
Oh my lord.
Marvel.
In a second, yeah.
Marvel, yeah. He has a 1 at the end instead of an L.
Yep. Jexe.
More one, bro.
Jexa, yeah. ECSE.
Oh yeah.
Toby.
Repel.
Ryu Hong.
Okay.
Wait, was Repel?
No, Repel was on the Titans.
He was on the Titans.
Ryu Hong. Spell that, Josh.
RYUJEHON.
Take a consonant, please.
H-O-N.
Janus. JANUS. He played for the Justice that year.
I thought you said Janice then.
Yeah, Janus did play for the Justice.
JANICE.
What the fuck?
Who
else played for Soul?
What'd you say?
Yeah, exactly. Who played for Soul? That's what we asked ourselves.
No way. Did
Oh
DM
my
play
God.
he didn't play for Soul?
Highly.
Because they had their stage 3 thingy. There,
Highly.
You know?
Illicit. HIG, just the word highly. Like illicit. ILLICIT.
They really had simpler names that season.
Mangachu.
Oh my god. What a legend.
Was it Wicked? Was Wicked back on Soul Dynasty?
Wicked.
WEKEED.
15 more, 40 seconds remaining.
Roky. ROKY.
Who was the other Seoul guy?
Ding.
Yeah, that's a good
D-I-N-G.
question.
All right,
Who
Matt's
was the
pulled
other
up the fucking viewership guide that they used to give out in the skybox.
Zumba? Is he still with them?
He still has one of the research
ZUNBA?
packets I wrote.
Was
No, the N, not the fucking Zumba.
14 names left.
Yes!
Yep.
12 seconds left.
For Luffy. Luffy.
Coma.
Coma, yeah. CMA.
Wow,
Gamsu.
It's over!
Oh, wow. Chat burn again.
I'm
Some of
pretty
these
sure
we wouldn't have got.
we would have got like 90% if we had more
It's
time.
actually
That
quite
is-
sad.
That is impossible. Like,
That is so many.
there's not enough time. Alamo.
Wait, we got 70%.
Yeah, 70.
70%.
The average
If you-
cruising at 53.
If
We got
you
way
had
higher
the
than
names,
average.
I reckon if you had the
End layer.
season 1 names deducted, I
Yep.
thought it was an
End
earthquake
layer,
for a second.
I would never
Totally
remember
wish I would not have gotten.
DPI,
Okay, wait.
I mentioned earlier this show.
Can we start at the top and just see who we would have totally missed out on, even if we had all the time? in
I
the
would have
world?
whipped on
Elmo.
N-layer. Yeah, I would have
N-layer,
whipped on
no way.
N-layer.
Alamo.
Persia. Oh my
Alamo
god, I
and
would not have
Persia,
gotten
not a
that
chance.
either.
I don't think I would have gotten Stella.
We may have thought of these from Chengdu.
Trill. I would never
Trill,
remember
yeah,
Trill.
Trill.
Bacon Jack, you should have, yeah, so.
Zephyr. We forgot Zephyr.
Yeah, so did we.
yeah. Oh, DPI was the guy. I was going to say
Yeah.
DPS, and I thought, no, that's just you
Yeah,
moron.
DPI was the guy, yeah.
Who's
Ferrari
DPI?
and Bishu.
Yeah, Panka. I never would have got.
Shoe?
I actually thought that Nuss was off of the team already.
Hmm.
Pine. We missed Pine.
There's no way I would have gotten revenge.
Agilities, McGravy. You had a lot of points on Valiant. Could have had.
Yeah. I think we
Yeah,
were just trying to shout
We
names
were
towards
just,
the end.
shouting names as fast as we could.
Eric.
Danye.
We would have gotten way more from Ding was 2Ds, not the 1D. We would have gotten most of Shanghai. I wouldn't have gotten Envy.
I think we would have gotten, yeah, maybe not Envy.
And I would have gotten Sleepy, I would have got Stratus, and then Ellie Vote and Lolsish. I would not have gotten the others.
You know, Fast6.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
maybe we would have gotten Fazix because what, he got sent home or like halfway through the year, right? Didn't he get dropped or something like that?
yeah.
I think he just quit. I think he just,
Yeah.
he didn't like the team or something. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't want to make.
God, there are definitely some players
God.
that we would have totally forgotten.
Also,
about.
we had so many more names we had to get through.
I mean, we literally named more players than they did.
No, you didn't.
Okay, but you also, we named
what do you
like
mean we
50
didn't?
players.
No.
We named 50 players before you, 70
Yeah.
even, like 50 of which probably played here.
I think if you deduct the names that came from season 1 to season 2 and worked out the percentages, you guys would be lost. You'd be in the dust.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I reckon if you deducted the names that went from season 1 to season 2, you guys would be done.
Someone do the math and put it in the comments.
I will
think- yeah,
say,
somebody can put
as
it in the
the typer of names, season 2 was way harder to like even just guess the names. Like, it was so hard to type the
That
names.
was funny.
False. So
Yeah.
me and Johnny win again. We won on the coin flip,
Yeah.
and we won in this
Wow.
one.
Did you win again? We got the same percentage, didn't we?
No,
No,
we got
didn't.
71%.
We had 75.
yeah,
we
they
had
got
70.
75?
75.
Oh, wow.
And now it's time for the greatest segment that's ever existed. Ever. Ever. Kurt, please run a tape for me, please. Yep. So my player of the week this week, presented by T-Mobile. I had to think long and hard about this one because, let's face it, there wasn't much news circulating Overwatch these days. It's been a bit dry, been a bit vacant when it comes to suitable candidates. Now I'm going to say this, and people are going to comment afterwards, being like, "Why didn't you pick so and so?" Well, shut up. Is my answer. What I've decided to go for this week is I've decided to give my Player of the Week award to the Uwu All-Stars.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
The number one guild in North America with the name Uwu in it. We recently cleared 4 bosses in Heroic Castle Nathria, and we are making our way steadily and slowly towards Mythic.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You can
I give
see
it
a
to
bunch
our
of,
guild.
a bunch of people. You guys, my mage is there in the front with the purple shield around.
I'm in the bottom
Holland,
left.
who works for the Overwatch League. Her Demon Hunter's there. Tickety is over here, over on the left. I think Arrow was somewhere over there on the end.
Me and Mitch are the bottom left.
Yeah.
I think. I'm the elf with the Santa hat on.
Yep.
Oh, I see you.
And then Mitch is the guy with the wings.
With the wings.
But yeah, no, we did all right. We got 4 bosses down on heroic. It's much harder this time than it was last. But you know, we're dominating the game. We're turning up at another level. I feel like this is
you know how companies and countries have fronts where they have like a face that leads, but there's a puppeteer pulling the strings behind the scenes?
Sure.
Matt is the face of our guild. He's giving it all the talk, but in reality, we are ran by Nuki.
Yeah.
Nuki she just knows everything. And there's no
way in hell we'd be killing any of this without Nuki. Facts.
Yeah. We took our games to another level once we incorporated Nuki. 1, because she's really good. 2, she knows what to do. And then she knows how to tell us what to do. And there was one time during this fight where Custa was going to say something. She shut him down.
She actually shut him down.
We're not doing that.
Custa, shut up.
And everyone just was like...
Everyone listens to Nuki.
Yeah.
Those are just facts.
Good.
I'm just
if she
pulling
tells
out
me
there.
to go stand in the corner and stand on the fire, I'll go do it.
Yep.
So you're telling me that Nuki's been running stuff for the London Spitfires, sorting out trials, all of this stuff in the off-season. Really busy time for people that are in this kind of position. Newly appointed GM, by the way, of the London Spitfire. Am I right in saying that? Pretty sure that happened over the off-season. And she's also dragging your asses through some WoW guilds at the same time. Some WoW dungeon runs or whatever they're called.
It's German efficiency.
Raid would be the term. Yeah, it's not a dungeon crawl.
You are just children to be looked after.
What do you mean? We actually look.
You're another full-time job.
We're legitimate. We're a legitimate guild.
You want me to put in a live chat? Here are our statistics in terms of where we land in the world so far. Did you know, Matt? I think we were actually we got a better ranking for clearing normal. If you can zoom in here, I can try and explain some of this.
Yep, there it is.
The UU All-Stars.
The UU All-Stars.
Does it say like
actually,
world
I can't
ranking
see it, Matt. You explain
it does. World.
Yeah. We were top 100 on the realm for Nyalotha. Battle of the Czar lore. I believe this is a transmog run. That doesn't count because we didn't actually do this. But this new one, look, I mean, we were almost top 5,000 in the world, top Matt, 2K in the region.
Matt, I don't understand what any of this means. So what number am I even looking at here? What does this
like okay, so you see the column that says world?
Yes.
Like
well, no, which one? There's world and then there's world.
Okay, so the top. So there's the normal and heroic. So heroic is like the harder one. It's new. Normal came out a few weeks ago. Pretty easy. But like, look, I mean, we're in the top 150 on the realm. We're almost in the top 2K in the US. It's not bad.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to be saying, this player of the week is weak, and Bren's pathetic for saying that his guild should get it. And to that I say, piss off. My player of the week, I can give it to whoever I want. I'm giving it to my guild this week. If you don't understand it, then you're a boomer.
Sorry, can I just get this right? Being in the top 2,000 teams in America is considered good.
Yeah,
it's not bad. That's not bad.
You don't think so, Johnny? For a casual guild?
I mean, yeah, for a casual guild, of course it is. But like, you can't tell Josh is like being top 500 on Overwatch.
Well, that's what I'm comparing it to, right? It's like, what is average? How many teams are there?
So most people don't even do heroic, like clear it.
Okay.
About 1%, I think I saw 1% of the player base will clear mythic. We almost did that.
You had a higher rank in normal. You had like top 5,000.
Yeah, because we did normal.
That just means we were
like
the fastest to get there. Like we did it like
in terms of your pace. Yeah, in terms of your pace. When we get onto mythic progression, we'll actually be pretty good in terms of the realm, I reckon. Honestly,
Probably in the top 100.
We're bash out heroic. Not a lot of guilds are going to be approaching mythic like we do. We're low key, but we're kind of filthy with it. Like we're actually kind of filthy.
Low key, but kind of filthy with it. Yeah.
Yeah. That should be our guild motto from now on.
My guild killed Thad yesterday. So
wow.
But no one cares about WoW Classic. So I'm just on my little island. I'm on my smaller island, just like enjoying
Josh
life.
refuses to play. Josh refuses to play.
Yeah, Josh doesn't understand World of Warcraft.
No, I don't. I really don't.
He'd rather watch Valorant VODs.
Bro, I was watching what I could only assume to be a joke tournament with aim gods recently.
Oh yeah. That was excellent.
And it was described as WoW Arena, but with AKs and 2000 BC graphics. Yeah. And I thought, God Almighty, if this is what WoW is like, I'm glad I'm not into it.
No, I mean that's disrespectful to WoW.
You got to get into WoW.
I'm not a big arena fan. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big arena fan. But that's disrespectful to WoW. That aim gods. Listen, I don't care. I don't think we'll ever be sponsored by Final Mouse. I don't think I ever want to use a Final Mouse. Who wants to use a fucking honeycomb for a mouse? Not me. The point that tournament was just.
Who?
I think Wyatt uses one too.
Wyatt uses one as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have stern words of some people in this household. I'm telling you.
I think Josh playing WoW could be a banging fun stream. Like actually,
no, it's not a good stream game.
To see him do that.
So
it's not a good stream game.
What we should do.
They need to open a quest and be like, why do I need to kill these 5 dwarves for this dwarf?
We should do a Dungeons and Dragons in WoW with our characters, and Josh can role play, and we can run around the forest and stuff.
Yeah, I wanna get Josh to max level and see how long it takes him to compete with Doa in the passes.
Why are you going at my boy Doa?
I'm going at Doa's neck.
So bad that having never played WoW,
Doa's not bad. He just can't settle on a character. So he's constantly chopping and changing, never really mastering a character. He is the definition of a flexible piece of slime, just fitting into every nook and cranny, you know?
Yeah. Okay, right, wonderful. You spun that one well.
Doa would be way better than Josh.
Yeah, he would actually. I wouldn't have faith in you, Josh, to complete much.
No.
Oh, I don't have faith in myself.
You'd end up getting distracted too much by the Fox area.
Well, and then we've also brought in the wild card. We recruited SoOn to play with us.
Oh, SoOn is a fucking wild card.
SoOn is a wild card. SoOn, by the way, we say, all right, everybody take 2 minutes, go to the bathroom, grab some water. SoOn. We're like, yo, what'd you get? He's like, oh, I got a bunch of Fiber 1 bars and a Jack and Sprite at 7 a.m.
Yeah, mate, you can smell it on his breath through the mic. I'm telling you, you can smell it through the mic. I'm telling you, he is an absolute menace. He is an absolute menace.
I've never been able to tell like if somebody's drunk on like the other side of the microphone, or like if you can't see them, you can tell it's SoOn. Like if he goes and comes back, you can tell. You can like.
I don't know. I feel like he does a good job of
booze through the screen. Like
no, he does a good job of playing it off because I think he's drunk a lot. You know, he's used to it.
I think his personality might just be like that all the time as well.
Yeah, his personality is like that quite often.
I like.
He was telling us how in like officials and scrims, he knows that he talks too much, so he actively has to stop himself from talking.
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise he'll just be yapping. Oh, I'm from London.
Won't be a problem in your guild though, will it? Because Nucky will bite his fucking head off.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, he does behave himself a bit around Nuki because he knows that Nuki is doing a lot of the tryout process for the LT. So he will always behave himself.
Has he not got the memo that Haddy and Malfic have been signed? Is Smeg still hanging on there?
You cut out, so I didn't hear you.
He said he's not aware that they've signed 2 players already.
Yeah, the rumors are circulating. Halo's got his reports out about new signings for the London Spitfire. Smex needs to get in there ASAP.
Smeg's not one of them. Maybe he will be soon. I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows?
What an episode.
Yeah,
it's a Christmas special.
Oh.
Moshy Mosh?
Moshy Mosh.
Oh, yeah, Jeff. How you doing, pal? Oh, you want us to put a wrap on the episode? Yeah, no problem, pal. All right. Yeah, I'll tell the others. Yeah. No, we're getting a little bit tired anyway. You know, I'm pretty busy these days. You know, appreciate you reaching out though. All right, chat soon. Bye bye. All right, Kurt, you can end the episode now. Thanks for watching, everybody.